The gun was cold against my temple, its metal biting into my skin as the man's breath hissed in my ear. "You don't belong here," he snarled, his voice thick with rage, the kind that festers in small towns like ours. I was 25, trembling, and certain I'd die in that alley for loving who I loved. But I didn't die. That man, James Carver, let me go, his hand shaking as he lowered the gun, his eyes haunted by something deeper than hate. I ran, heart pounding, vowing to leave Ashwood, Virginia, and never look back. Yet here I am, 10 years later, sitting in a diner with my son, Noah, watching James Carver pour coffee behind the counter like he didn't once hold my life in his hands. My name is Evan Harper, and this is the story of how the man who nearly killed me became the father figure my son quietly chose for himself. It's not a simple tale. Nothing about love, hate, or redemption ever is. It's messy, raw, and stitched together with choices no one should have to make. Ashwood hasn't changed much. The same cracked sidewalks, the same gossip buzzing through the diner like static. I moved back 6 months ago, not by choice, but necessity. My ex, Sarah, left us when Noah was 5, chasing a life that didn't include a kid or a husband who came out as gay. I raised Noah alone, first in Richmond, then here, back in the town that once spat me out. Noah's 15 now, all gangly limbs and quiet smiles, with a heart bigger than this whole damn county. He doesn't know about James. Not yet. I watch James now, wiping the counter with a rag, his broad shoulders tense under his flannel shirt. He's older, grayer, but still carries that weight in his eyes. Guilt, maybe, or shame. Back then, he was the town's golden boy turned bully, the kind of man who'd lead a church group on Sunday and a hate-fueled mob by Monday. I was his target, the sinner who dared kiss a boy at the county fair. That night in the alley, I thought it was over. But something stopped him. God, conscience, or just exhaustion. I never asked. I just left. Now, Noah's sipping a milkshake, oblivious to the history between me and the man across the room. "Dad, can we get fries?" he asks, his voice soft but bright. I nod, trying to focus on him, not the memories clawing at me. Noah's my anchor, the reason I keep going. He's got my brown eyes, but his mother's stubborn streak. And he's starting to ask questions about who he is, who he might love. I see it in the way he lingers on certain glances, the way he blushes when his friend Sam texts him. I want to protect him from this town, from its judgment, but I can't shield him forever. James catches my eye, and for a moment, we're frozen. He knows who I am. I can see it in the way his jaw tightens, the way his hand pauses mid-wipe. I want to hate him, to scream. But there's Noah, and I can't let my past poison his present. So I nod, a small gesture, and he nods back. It's not forgiveness, not yet, but it's something. That night, I lie awake, the diner scene replaying in my mind. Noah's laughter, James's silence. I wonder what Noah sees when he looks at the world, if he feels the weight of Ashwood's stares like I did. I wonder if James remembers that alley as vividly as I do. Most of all, I wonder how we ended up here, tethered by a past that should have broken us. The next morning, Noah's up early, sketching in his notebook. He's always drawing landscapes, faces, dreams he won't share. "Dad, can I go to the library?" he asks, already slinging his backpack over his shoulder. I say yes, but my chest tightens. The library's near the diner, and I don't trust this town to keep him safe. Not yet. I drive him, the radio humming softly as we pass fields and faded billboards. Noah's quiet, but it's a comfortable quiet, the kind we've built over years of just the two of us. "You okay, kid?" I ask, glancing at him. He nods, but there's a flicker in his eye, something he's not saying. I don't push. I've learned that with Noah. You wait. At the library, he bounds out, waving over his shoulder. I sit in the car, watching him disappear through the glass doors. Across the street, the diner's neon sign flickers. James is there. I know it. Part of me wants to walk in, demand answers. Why didn't you pull the trigger? Why are you still here, haunting my life? But I don't. I drive home, the questions burning in my throat. That afternoon, Noah comes back with a stack of books and a grin. Met someone cool at the library, he says. Casual, but there's a spark in his voice. This guy? James. From the diner. He was dropping off some old books. Said he knew you. My heart stops. Noah doesn't notice. Flipping through his sketches. He's kinda quiet. But he asked about you. Said you were brave. Brave. The word feels like a punch. I don't know what James is playing at, but I don't trust it. Not yet. Still, Noah's smile lingers, and I can't shake the feeling that something's shifting. Something bigger than me or James or that night 10 years ago. Noah's words echo in my head as I wash dishes that night. James called me brave. The man who held a gun to my head, who spat slurs in the dark, thinks I'm brave. It's absurd, infuriating, and yet it gnaws at me. I glance at Noah, sprawled on the couch, sketching again. He's humming, unaware of the storm in my chest. The next day, I'm back at the diner. Not for coffee, but for answers. Noah's at school, and I've got no excuse to be here except the need to confront James. The bell jingles as I step inside, and there he is, pouring coffee for a trucker. He looks up, and our eyes lock again. This time, I don't nod. I walk straight to the counter and sit. Evan, he says, his voice low, almost cautious. Didn't expect you. Cut the crap. James, I say, keeping my voice steady. What did you say to my son? He flinches. Just barely. But I catch it. Nothing much. Just talked about books. He's a good kid. He said you called me brave. Why? My words are sharp, but my hands are shaking under the counter. James sets the coffee pot down. His movement slow, deliberate. Because you came back, he says. After everything, you came back to this town. That takes guts. I want to laugh, to tell him he doesn't get to rewrite the past. But there's something in his eyes, regret. Maybe. Or something close to it. Before I can respond, the bell jingles again, and Noah walks in, backpack slung over one shoulder. Dad, he says, surprised. Thought you'd be at work. I force a smile. Just grabbing coffee. You. Homework, he says, sliding into the booth behind me. James watches us, and I hate how he looks at Noah like he sees something worth protecting. That night, Noah tells me more about James. How he helped him find a book on art history. How he listened when Noah rambled about his sketches. He's not like the other guys here, Noah says. He doesn't laugh at me. My stomach twists. Noah doesn't know what James did, and I'm not ready to tell him. Over the next week, I notice Noah spending more time at the diner. He says it's for the Wi-Fi, but I see the way he lights up when James talks to him. It's small things, James asking about his drawings, slipping him an extra milkshake. I want to drag Noah away, to keep him safe from the man I still see as a monster. But Noah's smile stops me. He's happy, and I haven't seen him this happy in months. One evening, I find Noah at the diner, laughing with James over a sketch. I stand in the doorway, unseen, watching them. James points at the drawing, says something that makes Noah grin. It's a punch to the gut, not because I hate James, but because I see it. Noah's starting to look up to him. I confront James again the next day. Alone. Stay away from my son, I say, my voice low but firm. James doesn't look away. I'm not trying to hurt him. Evan. Or you. Then what are you doing? I snap. You think you can just waltz into his life after what you did? He leans against the counter, his scar catching the light. I'm not that man anymore, he says. I was wrong. I've been wrong for years. I'm trying to make it right. Make it right. I laugh. Bitter. You held a gun to my head. James. You don't get to make that right. He nods. Like he expected this. I know. But Noah, he's a good kid. He deserves better than this town's hate. I just want to help. I leave without another word. My mind a tangle of rage and confusion. That night, Noah shows me a sketch portrait of James. All sharp lines and quiet eyes. He's not so bad. Dad, Noah says. Maybe you should give him a chance. I don't sleep that night. I keep seeing James's face. Not from the alley, but from the diner. Soft and steady as he talks to my son. I hate him, but I'm starting to wonder if I'm wrong too. The air in Ashwood feels heavier now, like it's holding its breath. Noah's sketching more, his pencil flying across pages, capturing faces and moments I don't always understand. He's been quieter too, but not in a bad way, just thoughtful, like he's piecing something together. I'm trying to piece things together too, but my puzzle is uglier. James's words, I'm not that man anymore, haunt me. I want to believe he's changed, but the memory of that gun, that alley, is a scar that won't fade. Still, Noah's growing attachment to him is undeniable. I see it in the way he lingers at the diner, the way he mentions James in passing, like he's testing the waters. One Saturday, I find Noah at the library again. But this time, James is there too. They're sitting at a table, books spread out, talking about art. I pause in the doorway, unseen, listening. James is explaining perspective, his voice patient, almost gentle. Noah's nodding, his eyes bright with curiosity. It's a scene I never imagined, me son and the man who once hated me, sharing something I can't touch. I step forward, clearing my throat. Noah looks up, startled but happy. Dad. James was showing me how to draw buildings. James meets my gaze, steady but guarded. Hope that's okay, he says. I nod, not trusting my voice. Later, as Noah and I walk home, he talks nonstop about James, how he used to paint, how he knows so much about art. He's cool. Dad, Noah says. Like, really cool. I don't know how to respond. Part of me wants to tell Noah everything, to rip away the illusion of James as some kind hero. But another part, the part that sees Noah's smile, hesitates. I've spent years protecting him, but maybe I'm protecting him from the wrong things. That night, I dig through old boxes in the attic, looking for something to ground me. I find a photo from high school and my first boyfriend, Tyler, at the fair. We were 17, laughing, oblivious to the stares. That was the night James and his friends followed us, the night that led to the alley. I stare at the photo, my chest tight. Tyler left town after that, and I never heard from him again. I wonder if James remembers him too. The next day, I'm back at the diner, unable to stay away. James is alone, cleaning glasses. We need to talk, I say. He nods, like he's been waiting for this. I owe you an apology, he says before I can speak. Not just for that night, but for everything. The way I was angry, lost. I took it out on you. I want to scream. To tell him an apology doesn't erase a decade of fear. But his voice cracks, and I see the weight he's carried all these years. Why didn't you pull the trigger? I ask, my voice barely above a whisper. He looks away, his jaw tight. I saw my brother in you, he says. He was like you. Loved a man. My dad, he beat him for it. Drove him away. I was too weak to stand up for him, so I became my dad instead. That night, I couldn't do it. I couldn't be him. His words hit hard, peeling back layers of pain I didn't expect. I don't forgive him, not yet, but I understand something new. James isn't just a monster from my past. He's a man who's been running from his own ghosts. Noah interrupts us, bursting through the door with a new sketch. James, look, he says, holding up a drawing of the diner. James smiles, and for the first time, I don't flinch. I see what Noah sees, a man trying to be better. Noah's sketches are everywhere, now taped to the fridge, scattered on the kitchen table. They're not just drawings. They're windows into his world. And James is in too many of them. I'm torn between pride and fear, watching my son open up to a man I'm still learning to trust. One evening, Noah comes home late, his cheeks flushed. Sam and I hung out at the diner, he says, avoiding my eyes. Sam's his best friend, a lanky kid with a quick laugh. I've seen the way Noah looks at him, the way his voice softens when he says Sam's name. It's the same way I looked at Tyler all those years ago. Did James say anything? I ask, trying to keep my tone neutral. Noah shrugs. Just asked about school. Said I should show you my new sketch. He pulls out a drawing, a portrait of Sam, all sharp cheekbones and bright eyes. It's beautiful, and it confirms what I've suspected. Noah's heart is waking up. I want to talk to him, to tell him it's okay to feel what he feels. But the words stick. I'm scared not of him, but of this town. Ashwood hasn't changed enough. Not for a kid like Noah. I know the whispers, the stares. I live them. The next day, I find James at the library, shelving books. You're spending a lot of time with my son, I say, my voice sharper than I intend. He doesn't flinch. He's a good kid. Evan. He's got questions, and I'm just listening. Questions about what? I press. James hesitates, then says, about who he is, who he might love. He's scared, but he's brave, like you. My throat tightens. Noah's been talking to James about this, not me. It hurts, but I get it. I'm his dad, the one who's supposed to have all the answers. James is just a guy, someone safe to confide in. I don't want him hurt, I say. Not by you, not by this town. I know, James says. I won't let that happen. Not again. His words linger as I drive home. I think about Noah, about the sketches, about Sam. I think about James, about the man he was and the man he's trying to be. I don't trust him fully, but I'm starting to believe he means it. That night, Noah sits me down. Dad, I need to tell you something, he says, his hands fidgeting. I think I like Sam. Like, more than a friend. I take a deep breath, my heart swelling with pride and fear. Okay, I say, pulling him into a hug. I'm here, Noah. Always. He cries, and I hold him, knowing this is just the beginning. Ashwood won't make it easy, but I'll fight for him. And maybe, just maybe, James will too. Noah's confession changes everything. It's not just about him liking Sam. It's about him stepping into a world that could crush him. I've spent years shielding him, but now he's out there, heart open, and I'm terrified. The next week, I notice a shift. Noah's still going to the diner, but he's quieter, more cautious. I catch him glancing out the window, like he's waiting for something or someone to judge him. I know that look. I wore it at his age. One afternoon, I overhear a conversation at the diner. Two men, regulars, are talking about the Harper kid and that boy he's always with. Their words are laced with venom, the kind that cuts deep. I want to storm over, to shut them up. But Noah's there, in a booth, pretending not to hear. James is behind the counter, and I see his jaw tighten. He hears it too. Before I can move, James walks over to the men's table. Enough, he says, his voice low but firm. You don't talk about that kid like that. Not here. The men grumble, but back off. Noah looks up, surprised, and James gives him a small nod. It's a moment, fleeting but powerful, and I realize James isn't just protecting Noah, he's protecting me, too. Later, I pull James aside. Why'd you do that? I ask. Because it's right, he says simply. And because I owe you. I don't know what to say. The man who once hated me is standing up for my son, and it's unraveling everything I thought I knew. That night, Noah tells me about the diner incident. James was cool, he says, a shy smile breaking through. He didn't have to do that. He did, I say, and for the first time, I mean it. Over the next few days, Noah and Sam grow closer. I see them together at the library, heads bent over books, laughing in a way that makes my heart ache with hope. But the town's whispers grow louder. I hear them at the grocery store, the gas station. Like father, like son, they say, and it's not a compliment. I confront James again, not out of anger, but desperation. This town's going to eat him alive. I say. What do I do? James leans against the counter, his eyes steady. You love him. You fight for him. And you let him know he's not alone. It's simple, but it's everything. I realize James isn't just talking about Noah, he's talking about himself. About the brother he lost. About the man he's trying to become. That weekend, Noah asks if Sam can come over. I say yes, and the house feels alive with their laughter. James drops by, unexpectedly, with a box of donuts. Thought you kids might be hungry, he says, and Noah lights up. As James leaves, I follow him outside. Thank you, I say, the words heavy but honest. He nods, and for the first time, I see him smile a real, unguarded smile. We're in this together, Evan, he says. And I believe him. The whispers in Ashwood turn into shouts. Someone spray paints a slur on our mailbox, and Noah sees it before I can paint over it. His face crumples, and I feel like I've failed him. We can leave, I tell him that night, sitting on his bed. Start over somewhere else. He shakes his head. I don't want to run. Dad, this is home. His words break me. Home. This town, with its hate and its history, is his home. I don't know how to protect him here, but I know I have to try. The next day, I find James at the diner, his face grim. I heard about the mailbox, he says. I'm sorry. It's not your fault, I say, but he shakes his head. It's all our faults, he says. This town, me included. But I'm not letting it happen again. He tells me he's been talking to the sheriff, pushing for action. He's also been talking to Noah, checking in on him. I'm starting to see James not as the man from the alley, but as someone trying to right his wrongs. Noah and Sam keep spending time together, and I see the love growing between them. It's tentative, fragile, but real. I want to shield them, but I know they need to face this world themselves. Still, I'm there, and so is James. One evening, James invites us to a community art show at the library. Noah's sketches are on display, and he's nervous but proud. Sam's there too, holding Noah's hand when no one's looking. I see James watching them, and instead of judgment, there's warmth in his eyes. The show is a small victory, but it's not enough. The next day, someone throws a rock through our window. Noah's in his room, shaken but unharmed. I call the sheriff, but I know it's not enough. James shows up, unasked, with a hammer and plywood. "We'll fix this," he says, and it's not just about the window. He stays late, boarding up the glass, talking to Noah about resilience, about standing tall. I watch them, and something shifts. James isn't just a bystander anymore. He's family. That night, Noah shows me a new sketch portrait of James, Sam, and me, standing together. "This is us," he says, and I choke up. I don't know how we got here, but I know we're not alone. James, Noah, Sam, me, we're fighting for something bigger than ourselves. And we're not backing down. The rock through our window isn't the end. The harassment continues, slurs whispered at school, glares in the grocery store. Noah holds his head high, but I see the toll it takes. Sam's parents aren't helping. They've forbidden him from seeing Noah, calling it unnatural. I'm furious, but Noah's calm. "They'll come around," he says, but I'm not so sure. I'm scared for him, for Sam, for what this town will do to them. James steps up in ways I never expected. He starts a support group at the diner, a quiet space for kids like Noah and Sam to talk. It's small, just a few teens, but it's something. He doesn't preach or judge. He listens, and they trust him. One night, I joined the group, sitting in the back. Noah's there, sharing a story about Sam. The other kids nod, understanding. James catches my eye, and there's a quiet pride in his expression. I realize he's not just doing this for Noah, he's doing it for the kid he used to be, the one who lost his brother to hate. The support group grows, and so does the backlash. A local pastor starts preaching against us, calling the diner a den of sin. Picketers show up, waving signs. James stands at the door, arms crossed, refusing to let them in. "This is my place," he says, "and these kids are welcome here." Noah and Sam keep fighting, too. They start a school club, a safe space for kids like them. I'm proud, but terrified. I know how fast things can escalate in Ashwood. One night, I find James at the diner, alone, staring at an old photo. It's his brother, smiling, with a man I don't recognize. He was happy, James says, his voice thick. I didn't see it then. I do now. I sit across from him, and we talk for the first time. About his brother, about my past, about Noah. It's not forgiveness, but it's close. The next day, Noah tells me he and Sam are going to the homecoming dance together. It's a bold move, and I'm scared, but I say yes. James offers to chaperone, and I let him. We're in this together now. Homecoming night is electric and terrifying. Noah and Sam walk into the gym, hand in hand, their faces a mix of nerves and defiance. James is there, standing tall, watching the crowd like a hawk. I'm beside him, my heart in my throat. The dance goes smoothly at first. Noah and Sam laugh, twirl, blend into the crowd. But then I see a group of boys, whispering, pointing. I tense, ready to step in, but James is already moving. He doesn't say a word, just stands between the boys and Noah, his presence enough to shut them down. Later, Noah finds me, his eyes shining. Thanks for letting me do this, Dad, he says. I hug him, Tears in my eyes. The night isn't perfect. There are stares, whispers, but Noah and Sam don't care. They dance. And for a moment, Ashwood feels different. Weeks later, the town starts to shift. The support group grows, and the picketers dwindle. Sam's parents come around. Slowly, after seeing him happy. James keeps the diner open late for the kids. A beacon in the dark. One evening, Noah shows me a final sketch of family portrait. Me, him, Sam, and James, standing together, smiling. This is us, he says again, and I know it's true. James and I talk one last time, under the diner's neon glow. I don't deserve this, he says, meaning Noah, meaning us. Maybe not, I say. But you're here, and that's enough. We don't erase the past, but we build something new. Noah chooses James, not because he's perfect, but because he's trying. And in that choice, I find forgiveness not for the man who held a gun to my head, but for the man who's become family. Ashwood isn't perfect, but it's home. And together, we're making it better. One sketch, one dance, one day at a time.